Episode 125 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/the Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Chick. We are also brought to you by Audible. Get a free month and a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/wild. Welcome to episode 125 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dilz, and with me is Deagin.
Hey, how's it going?
This week, lots of quality of life between polls and actual updates, but we also get the Hosidus House rework. Seems like the third time they're doing this.
For Hosidus or for Great Koran?
I guess in general. Anyways, so that's looks like it's going to be coming into the game shortly. And for community news, not a whole lot goes on. An update on the Chambers of Xeric speedruns, I suppose. There's a community for that.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways,
before all of that, Deagin, what did you do this week?
Not too much, really. To be honest, I kind of slowed down a bit on the RuneScape.
All right.
Just pulling back, because I think it was like the past couple weeks, I've just been putting in a lot of like time into like PVMing and stuff on the rebuild. So I took a step back this week. I still play a decent amount. Like, got 91 fire making.
Okay, well, what are you doing that for? Just to get to 99?
Yeah.
No other reason?
Yeah, just 99.
Nice.
Did like angler fishing, I guess. Just like AFKing, like, because I'm going to get 99 wood cutting on my way to 99 fire making because I'm doing winter Todd.
Yeah. I
don't know when exactly I'll be getting that done, but yeah. Mainly, like, I was just, like, staying up super late doing PVM and stuff, because, like, I feel like everyone I raid with is, like, West Coast. I like, no one I really play with is East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are. So what happens is, like, I'll be up to, like, 2 a.m, and then I have to get up for, like, 7 to go to work.
Yeah, that sucks. That's almost not worth it.
And then the third day in a row, it's like I get up at, like 7:30 and I have to rush to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the last day I woke up like 20 minutes before work. And I was like, all right, I have to take a shower and call a cab at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? This is so fucking hectic. So I didn't really PVM that much. Made it a couple raids and all that and some theater of blood attempts. Got Verzik to 0.1%, which is super nice. And
oh, damn. Is that nice, or is that like a kick in the nuts?
Kick in the nuts, but it's whatever.
It's funny because I've been in that situation. This is for World of Warcraft, so a little different, but similar idea. There's like 10 of us killing a boss, our first time doing it as a guild. The boss is down to like 0.5% or even just 5%. People start getting excited, but then people just start getting killed, and your team starts getting knocked off one by one, which means now your damage output is starting to go down. So what would normally take you like 10 seconds to do 5% worth of damage, it's becoming a lot longer now because there's like 2 people doing damage. But I've been there where it's like 3 people left. Everyone's just going as hard as possible. The healer's not even healing anymore. He's DPSing, and like you finally kill him, and there's like 2 people standing. One or 2 more seconds longer, you guys might have died.
Yeah.
That is like a real feel-good moment. Everyone's cheering and it's exciting. So being on the other side of things where you don't get the kill and you die instead seems like it'd be a bit disheartening.
Yeah, it sucks, but like I could have had like a clear of theater of blood, but I just don't want to like put in the time to do the PVMing stuff right now.
Yeah,
mainly because I've lost a lot of money doing attempts. I also bought my like,
lots of money and sleep, it sounds like.
Yeah. It's fun, but like it's kind of like, hey, going back New Year's resolution, I gotta keep RuneScape in check. And it, like, you know what I mean? Like I saw it kind of creeping. Like I'd be at work, like thinking about RuneScape and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, and your change is blah 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 blah. I don't know, like just like
your change is $3K.
Yeah.
Sorry, $3.
Yeah. Wow, we got the new armored chain skirts in, eh? You know, what are you talking about?
That's some good fashion scape right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just running around the store barraging people, AGS specking them.
Doing the vengeance, not a moat, but the throw your hands up or whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
bend over and like.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Don't worry, guys. I'm not like that. Yeah, so it's just like a little bit of PVM just so I can kind of make some of the money back that I've spent. And like, I still want to get some of my rebuild continuing. I kind of halted it all when I wasn't really done.
Yeah.
Like, I still need the chain skirt and the Arma helmet, and then I'm pretty much done.
When would you use the Arma helmet?
Raids,
Yeah. Okay.
Zalra, PVM, all that good stuff.
You wouldn't use the Nate does not helmet?
No.
Okay.
No. Just like eventually once I'm done my rebuilds, bring a SERP helmet, a Arma and Cess. Like I bring
The helmet's dirt cheap. How is that? How do you not have that?
well, I want to buy it last.
It's gotta be like $2 million, no?
It's like 4 or 5 mil.
Oh, it's gone up.
I mean, I can buy it. I just like I'm not gonna like dump all my money into it. I prefer to like buy backwards. Does that make sense? So like I bought the chain body first and then the skirt and then the helmet, like kind of work like that.
Yeah.
And for raids, a helmet swap isn't a priority.
Fair enough.
Because you can camp a Nada's Knot and then use like a ancestral hat switch for when you're maging. Yeah, as of now, like I just use ring switches and whatnot in replacement to kind of make up for the lack of helms I have.
The way I like to purchase my items, it's very inefficient, but for some reason it's satisfying for me. I'll just save up my money, and then when I'm doing a certain task or killing a boss and I'm like, oh, I would benefit from having this upgrade, then I'll buy it and just keep it. So like the Armadillo crossbow. I'm pretty sure I had an Armadillo task, so I'm like, I'm gonna kill the Armadillo boss. Ended up buying that crossbow. It's inefficient because I never use it. I use it for that in 1 room in raids. 2 rooms, sorry. You know?
Yeah.
When it's like I could have probably bought something else that was way better. I could have bought an Armadillo top or bottom, which would have been much more beneficial. Same with the Ring of Suffering. I think that was my first Zenite jewelry I got because of like Dagginoth Kings or something. And I like, it's good to have now, but I look back and I was like, I barely used it when I got it.
Yeah. It's a good segue for, effectively using your GP, figure out what you need it for. Which, what I also do this week, I've been like working on some side projects for the podcast. One of them is like we might have talked about it before, but it's like a gold-esque guide.
Yeah, a few episodes ago when someone had written in about asking about money, and we realized it's a pretty big topic to talk about because there's so many different methods depending on your account, and then there's preference, right? Some people just don't like to do certain things that might yield you a lot of money.
Yep, exactly.
Which is totally fair.
And I was like really dissatisfied with the answers I could give. So I was like, you know what? Maybe like I just like dedicate like a little side thing, for that. So I've been working on that. I have like a pretty decent general outline. It's taken me a while, mainly because, well, one, I have 2 things I'm working on. So that's not helpful at all. The main thing is that like I spent a lot of time like looking around at like other YouTube channels and stuff, being like, all right, well, if someone's going to ask us specifically, like what would they want to hear from us? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you want an answer, you can just like OSRS clickbait gold making guide. And then
even the
like,
wiki has a ton of guides. Like they have a ton of guides that you'd look at and be like, there's no way in hell I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's because like not good. It'd be like killing mythical dragons. And you're like, I know that's a bad money maker.
Yeah. But I mean, there's random things that like you find on the wiki, like sacred eels, which are like the eels next to Zalra, which is the like exact same thing as the infernal eels in the Dazar, like near Inferno stuff. Yeah. It's like the exact same concept, but you get scales instead of like, Tokal and the obsidian stuff. But
there's a lot of things people forget about, me included, right?
Yeah.
Like my go-to is never to go fish those eels.
Yeah.
I have no idea how much money they yield, but I do know that some people do it because it's somewhat AFK. Yeah. You don't need to bank with them because you can like use a chisel on the Inferno eels, I believe, and they turn into Tokal and
use like a knife on the sacred eels. And they turn into Zalra scales.
Yeah.
So like, and it's kind of, but it's cool because like I was like looking around for like just random like little things, and it's like, hey, sacred eels, every 7 levels you yield more scales.
Cool.
So it's like you want to min max, you do like 92 to 99,
Yeah.
I mean, don't do that. It's a really bad experience, but
Hey, if you maybe you're playing on your area restricted Ultimate Iron Man or something,
yeah.
and you're playing your main, you're like, I'm gonna kill or fish eels.
Yeah, but like I have a pretty good idea on how I'm gonna do it. I have like a pretty decent outline. Now it's just like effectively communicating it through the dialogue. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like how I go about presenting everything and then trying to make it podcast friendly, because a YouTube video would be so much easier.
Yeah, you got to create the theater of the mind.
But even that, like I'm a visual person. I think most people are. Like I get a better understanding if I can see something, or like even like in my notes, like I need to like draw shit and highlight it and make like mind maps and flow charts and stuff, just to like, because I'm always like all over the place. Like right now, I'm pretty all over the place. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited though. I've gotten like some decent progress on it. So hopefully it comes out like soonish. But I was kind of like working on that while doing Winter Todd and angler fishing, which is just, I'm kind of like hoping for the pet. Because like when I talk about maxing, my goal is to do barbarian fishing, because you get agility experience while you're at it. And you want to, who likes, like, I say I don't mind it, but if I could not do 2 hours or 3 hours of agility.
If you could buy bonds and trade them for experience, better damn well believe I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, I don't have the money.
RS3's for you.
I would take out a large bank loan.
OSAP, hit up OSAP.
Yes, the student loans.
Say, what is this for? Entertainment.
Or you just go like, I'm in financial need. I have level 7 agility. And they'd be like, totally understand. Here's 30 grand. That'll get you to level 60, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Go get him, Tiger.
Jagus, if you're listening, please don't do this, because I don't have the money.
Yeah. And then I played this game that came out this week called Slapshot.
Oh boy, here we go.
You definitely heard me playing that. I've never been so rowdy over a game in my life. So
there's a few times I'm like, I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm at max.
Yeah.
Subtitles are going on.
So like it's like it's free to play.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm gonna shelve this game out for a bit, just because like I'm gonna I'll shill for this game because I love it so much. It's like free to play. It's like 100 megabytes on Steam. The same concept as Rocket League. You know how it's like you jump in and you're just awful and everyone's awful and you're just trying to get a ball in the net.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it's hockey, and like it's really bad graphics. You have like those like, you know, those like Mega Block-esque characters.
Okay.
Like those just like dinky kid toys that like have the round head and the rectangular bodies.
Yeah.
Your characters kind of look like that, and you're just playing 3-on-3 hockey. The game just came out. It's got some like weird issues with like the servers, but they've been like getting good progress on it. But it's like, it's really like, it's like a hard game. Like I'm going to shoot the puck, and I just shot it behind me somehow, and now it's in our own net.
Yeah, I've seen you play it. I guess the best way to describe it, because people might be thinking it's like the NHL games, where it's not. It's like, what is it? It's that tabletop hockey game, right? You have the spinners. It's like the foosball version of hockey, right?
Kind of.
But you know how
foosball
you have to like,
meets like Rocket League in terms of like you're just kind of like moving around, just trying to get the puck in the net.
Yeah, but from what I've seen you play, you don't push a button and now you wind up for a shot. Your character has to spin around, right?
Yeah, you use like your mouse. Yeah, like left and right. Yeah. But it's so fun. And then
early access?
Of course.
Okay.
The game came out like there's like 3 devs, there's like 3 or 4 people working on it. It's like a passion project. They're so good at the game. It's ridiculous. Like I've played against them just because like the game's so small, but like you'll just play, like the devs like, I just want to play, and then you'll be like playing, and they're so good at the game. They have like 95% win rates over like you know what I mean? Like they're like amazing, but it's also fun because like I got to do my Canadian shit talking.
Okay,
and like
I don't even know what that means. Call someone a milk drinker or something?
Well, no, you just like talking about like how dirty your dangles are. You get like a nice shot from like the back of the rink, and just like, buddy on my team's a fucking beaut. Look at those snipes. I don't know. You just like, it's like heat of the moment. If you ever like, if you're into hockey at all, or you're Canadian, you like understand like the chirps that go down on the ice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just really fun because like everyone kind of like, you can shit talk each other, and everyone like understands like it's stupid hockey talk. Like, had a sick date with your sisters, buddy. You know, you just say like dumb stuff like that to each other.
So shit from Letterkenny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, talk about your dangles and all that. And yeah, it's really exciting.
Cool. So how do they make money if it's free?
So you can buy it if you want. You can like support the game for $10
Okay.
if you want. But
Do you get anything?
you unlock cosmetics, and if you buy the game, you can use them, like a mustache or like googly eyes.
They don't give you stats or anything?
No.
Okay.
It's just like we have an artist on the team who's been working on some cool stuff just for fun. He's a buddy of ours. Hey, give us some money, say, show that you support us. There you go.
Cool. Not bad.
Fun game. So I play that when I need that intensity. When I'm getting like real bored, just like message some people, go play it. But yeah, pretty much just like AFK and stuff on RS, working on the gold guide stuff, and then work.
Fun.
Yeah. What about you?
The classic week.
Yeah.
My week's been basically the same as every other week. Work, school, RuneScape, rinse and repeat for the most part. I had a guy in my class, actually. I was playing RuneScape, just doing something AFK in one of my classes that I can kind of do both in.
And then you wind up on the subreddit where some guy has a creep shot of you. OSRS creep shots.
Look at this guy. Not even doing it properly. No, I had some guy lean over and he was like, RuneLight, I see you're a man of culture.
Nice.
And I was like, shit, you play? He's like, no. I was like, how the hell do you, what?
Sharpie your name so you can't see it and he can't hack you.
Son
just
of a
like on
bitch.
your screen.
I look over, I see him like peering at my laptop and he's like got on some cheat client, typing in my username and stuff. And we got it.
It's
We're
like
in.
Back in the day, you're at the library and there's that one kid looking at the keyboard as you're chicken pecking your password. And you're just like, you want to step back there, buddy?
And you're having to
scoot. You
do some extra keys and then you have to backspace and you're like, now you don't know what my password is, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, RuneScape, I talked last week how I'm working on my elite diaries because I figured it would be nice to get my elite diaries done.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to get them all done. So I'm working through that. It's a huge grind. I have so many skills I need to level up. Few examples: 90 agility. God save
85.
me. 85 I'm going to boost.
Yeah.
I tell myself I don't want to boost so I can just get those levels so I'm that much closer to a maxed account. But I can almost guarantee I'll get to like level 86 agility and I'll tap out. Although here's what I've heard. So is it 890 you need for Ardone, the Ardone rooftops, right? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to knock that one off early anyways, because back when I wanted to do agility, but I hated agility and I was looking up like what other ways can I do? Like what's the most AFK thing to do for agility? It's not AFK. You can kind of make the argument that, you can watch Netflix and it's all muscle memory, but you're still having to, you can't get up and leave.
What's the most downtime?
Yeah. How close could I get it to AFK? And I had people say the Ardone rooftop course is the most AFK because a lot of the obstacles take
like 20 seconds. Like they're slow.
Yeah. And still yields you good experience.
Yeah.
So what I had people recommending was getting to 85, using a summer pie to boost to 90.
Yep.
And then you use the preserve prayer, which requires, I think it's 55 prayer. And you just wear as much prayer boosting gear as you can because you don't really need your graceful since there's so much downtime in between the obstacles.
Yep.
You'll just get your energy back. So you want to get like your miter helmet, the stole, I believe it's called, for your neck piece. Maybe initiate, maybe monk's robes, depending on how much.
Devout boots.
Devout boots, yeah, that's right.
Everything.
Which I got those devout boots this week.
Nice.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
They do look really nice.
Got the Yeezys.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. Yeah, preserve it adds like, because normally it's 60 seconds before your stat will go down when you're boosted. Once you like the cycles actually kick in, but preserve adds 30 seconds.
That's it.
Yeah, but it also like is like I think it's the slowest draining prayer. It's really slow. Like you can use preserve and it like you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an extra 30. And I know for like herbivore, you need the hunter level to start the herbivore tracking sequence. Like, so you go and you start hunting it, which is like what 80 hunter. And so like when I started doing herbivore, I would boost, use the hunter potion, and then start it, and then you can just do the whole thing even if your level dips below. So I don't know if that's the same as Artie, and if it is, you could probably sneak in like 2 routes per boost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
If it's like that, like if you start at 90, you could, I don't know how long, I've never timed an Artie route, but you might be able to slip in another one. But there are things like Cerberus, you need to always have like the level.
Yeah.
If you dip below, you can't attack it. But I'm pretty sure when you're interacting with like a skill, as long as you start like the sequence, you can finish it even if it dips below.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. What I would recommend, you could do 91 rune crafting AFK, get your Karamja elites done ASAP, and then do, because with Karamja elites, you get double the tickets from Brimhaven.
Okay, cool.
And if you hand them in groups, it's better experience. It's not as AFK, but it's a good alternative. Like my plan, I think I've talked about before, my plan to do agility for a bit was, I'm at 86 right now, was to do Karamja elites first, and then do Brimhaven until I can just buy my graceful outfit because I love that color.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a recolor yet. I bought the outfit. I've saved all my marks of grace through all my agility. Just get those tickets really quick, and it's more experience. It's like the minus werewolf, but it's like, you know.
And it might be more fun too.
And you also have the nostalgia aspect because you used to do that like a lot when you were younger.
I was just going to say, when I was like 11 years old, that like I loved doing the Brimhaven agility course. So I'm sitting here being like, I don't think I've done it since, maybe like once or twice for something.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here being like, oh, that's going to be as much fun as it was when I was a kid. Even though when I start doing it, I might realize, no, it sucks.
But also knowing you're getting double the tickets.
Yeah.
Is like a pretty, and you've also got the Karamja done, which means you're probably going to get 50k. You're probably going to put it on agility for some reason.
Hell yeah.
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 That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I might have to do that. So yeah, I need 90 agility, 91 smithing, 90 rune crafting? 91. Damn. And a lot of skills like that, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of high level random skills.
I mean, you probably have farming. You definitely have farming done. I know farming's up there at like 87-ish or 89, but you're like way ahead of
94, 95.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing my farming runs, not every day, but I try to do it at least every 3 days once the redwood grows and my mahogany grows.
Yep.
I'm doing those. I did some blast furnace. I've said in the past how I always prefer to do Addy ores and stuff.
Yep.
Because you make some decent money and I didn't actually mind it. But this time around, I was like, you know what? I don't care about the money as much. I want the levels. Because I want to get these achievement diaries done. I want to go kill this Calphite queen. Lose money there, but I want to do, get that done as easy as possible. And
are you doing Calphite on task?
Yeah, so that's where this all started. I got the Calphite task, realized I need 85 agility to get through the shortcut, and also realized that if I were to do my diaries, I don't need my Lumbridge, or I don't need my Drawman staff anymore for the fairy rings, that saves a spot, and that's huge for everything else, not just Calphite Queen. And I realized I don't need to bring 2 rope every time I'm doing Calphite Queen.
Yep.
So that's 3 spots right there.
And you get the good shortcut.
Oh, so you need you need the diary done for that shortcut? All I know is that it says 85 agility when I'm trying to use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need the diary done.
Yeah. Either way.
One of them.
Either way.
Harder elite, but yeah.
Those benefits is what got me going like, okay, maybe I should do my desert diaries and my Lumbridge diaries. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try to get as many of them done as possible. If I can go and get all my diaries done, that's huge. And there's so much variety and skills that I have to train that I bounce around a lot, so I don't just get bored doing one thing. Because that tends to happen with me. If I'm going to get 99 thieving, I'm going to get burnt out by like 85 thieving.
True.
So I like to bounce around on things. So it's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm doing Pyramid Plunder for my thieving because I try to do the Artie Knights and it sucks with that new coin bag.
Yeah, I mean, there are methods of like changing it to resize and then binding. You can have it so you can hide your interface down at the bottom.
Yeah.
and you can position it so that the coin bag opens up on arty nights, and you just keep your mouse in one, and then you can bind. How'd the guy do it? The guy bound on his mouse. If you have an extra button, you went into his mouse and bound like the interface to open it up and close it. So we just sit there and spam click, and every once in a while it was, and he was able, or maybe he did it to his left. I don't know. He did something weird, and it just, hey, it's arty nights.
Yeah,
like you can still like set it up properly. You might have to hit a button every like 30 seconds while you're watching Netflix, but.
For me, when I was just doing it the original way, I guess, just clicking right.
Yeah.
But then I would forget to do the coin purse, look back, and it's been like a minute with me just spam clicking and not getting any experience. So that was kind of annoying. So then I'm like, I'm going to do Pyramid Plunder because for some reason I actually kind of enjoy Pyramid Plunder. I don't know why. I think it's because it reminds me of the days of MapleStory. We're revisiting a lot of old MMOs. But
wait, why?
Just not the actual activity, but the way the progression felt. Where like with MapleStory, you get to a point where getting 1% would take a while.
Yeah.
So you would do these things called party quests, which is you get a group of people, then you have to do this activity, which takes like 20 minutes. Then when you're done, though, by the time you're done, you get a bunch of experience along the way.
Yep.
So you'd watch yourself go from 0% experience to like 11%. So it's a big jump, even though it takes you 20 minutes, might not be worth it necessarily, but it's just the way it seems.
Yeah.
So that's how Pyramid Plunder is for me. I'll do a run, which takes about 5 minutes. By the time I'm done, I've gained like 12% experience.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's, just got to do 10 more of these. Mm-hmm. It's not so bad. It's more than that, but it's just the way it feels. Same with the rune crafting with the blood runes. You get like 2K drops. Yeah. And the way you do it is you end up getting 5K per run.
Yeah.
Which it feels like a lot, even though it's not. You look at like how much experience you've gained. It's been like 10K in the past 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not that much experience, but it's just the way it feels. For me, at least, it's more satisfying.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like Pyramid Plunder. So I've also been doing rune crafting. I'm getting close to 85 rune crafting. So we're kind of getting there. I'm at like almost 79 thieving. I'm at like 80 smithing. So yeah, I did blast furnace using the gold ores.
Mm-hmm.
It's fast experience, but damn, does that drain your bank account?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the 3 skills I guess I'm working on. I'll switch it up sometimes depending on my money situation and whatnot, but yeah, really, it's just been the diaries. So we'll see how long that pans out before I get burnt out and skip that Calphite task.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's basically my week right there. Yeah, let's hop right into that news.
Yeah, so I guess we're starting off this news week with the Hosidus House rework and the quality of life poll blog. So they have like a little rework change list that we'll talk about quickly. So the Teeth Farm has been reduced in size from 31 patches to 10, and they'll be moving it out of the center of Hosidus and onto the southern coast.
Which you would say seems fitting, right?
Yeah.
Would you think teeth farming would feel more organic if they had a bunch of NPCs tending to the empty crops?
Yeah.
Because like I was looking at this and I was like, oh yeah, there's so much wasted space from teeth farming. But from a lore perspective, it kind of made sense because Hosidus provides the food for all the other houses at the Great Kurend. I was thinking like it is super empty and a waste of space, but if they added more NPCs just doing random things to the other crops, it might feel more organic because you're like, oh, these guys are just doing what they do, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It kind of like, I guess I'll go into it. We'll like I'll go into some of my thoughts after this, but yeah, no, I totally agree. So another thing they've been changed that has been changed is the 8 northmost plow fields have been removed and the entrance to Kurend has been improved. So if you get off the mile-long dock somehow,
yeah,
you'll notice as you run by, you kind of feel like you walk off a dock into Hosidus.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of condensed Hosidus and they've like moved it like down to more of the southeastern area, it gives like more of like a king's path to the Kurend castle.
Right. Yeah, like the city center.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to weed through the slums of Hosidus, and one step you're in Piscarius, and
Yeah.
like it's more of like this is the King's Path, and from here you can go here and here and here. The player farm has been moved from the coast to the south of the main town, so it's more far to the central. So like where you're actually farming your own herbs and stuff on at the Hosidus House has been moved more to be like similar to like Ardown, I guess, where it's like on the outskirts of the town. Does that make sense? If you think of the Ardown like farming patch,
Right? Yeah.
it's like instead of it being on the north, on the south end, they've also moved the Xeric's Talisman Glade teleport to be like right there, keeping more aligned, I guess. With like you don't want to have two teleports due to them moving. Like the Teeth Farm and everything, there'd be two tellies like pretty much right next to each other. So they kind of shuffled that around too. It looks pretty nice. The size of the grapevines have been reduced considerably as they do not resemble a typical vinery, and the older assets have been shrunken by 50%. I've never done any of the. I know you've done some of the grapevine stuff.
I did a little bit of it. I think my problem was actually acquiring the seeds.
You can do it through teeth, right?
Yeah, or you buy it from other people, but that nobody does teeth, so they can get a little pricey. I don't even, like. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so they are tradable, but they cost about $7,000 each.
Yeah, they're probably never traded.
And the thing is, you don't want to go and do just like one patch. You want to do all of them if you're there, which is 12 patches, right? You're getting close to $100,000.
Yeah. Aesthetically, I don't know how they look before this rework comes in. I don't know. Did you feel like they were just too big? I mean, everything on the Great Crown's too big, but
yeah, I felt it was big, but I think the main problem was that it felt empty because of the lack of NP. Like, I feel like if you just added more NPCs doing things,
but like with the vinery,
it was pretty big.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was too big, only because it felt like you're in this like
greenhouse type thing.
Yeah, some dude's like, this is my personal, vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Bigger is better on the Karen. I wonder if the Great Karen was like a jab at USA, which is everything's oversized, even the grapes. The saltpeter deposits have been moved closer together, and with a brand new centralized deposit box, the clerk who accepts the saltpeter donations has also been moved there.
Cool. Hey, that was a pain in the ass.
Yep. Most houses and businesses have been moved into the area where Teeth was previously. So this includes the little shop of Horace, aka the general store. All of the Clan of Karen guides will be a little off now. Like Slam Music 1's guide will be off.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to be in a new location, so he's going to have to redo that video. You have to waste a bond on making that. He's going to have to bond up a new character to do that quest. The various market stalls, estate agents, farming store, food store, church bank, and the Golden Field pub. That's all been put together to actually have a town instead of like whatever Hosidus was at one point.
I do like the way it looks. I'm looking at the picture now, and they have it's similar to Ardone, how they have that market square, right, where all the stalls are. They have a similar thing where it's like just a square that all the buildings kind of surround, and looks like a farmer's market might take place there in the Sunday morning or something.
Yeah. And they removed the guard dogs from their posts at the cooking store. Apparently, there's guard dogs that like, why would you need guard dogs there? People really stealing your supplies that much?
I would say so. They steal and they just drop it on the floor. Like, what a waste.
Yeah.
But those dogs ain't doing shit.
Quick summary, I guess, of what their thoughts were of why they're reworking Hosidus, and we've kind of already talked about it, but everything was just like too big. Like Teeth farming was way too big. Like houses were all spread out too much. It's too big. Like even like traveling around the house, like it had like the same like pathways as like the King's Way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it just like doesn't really fit too well. So they've kind of like made more dirt trails, all that stuff. It just like really didn't fit. And you can tell it was like they made a big piece of land and then put big things to cover it up.
Yeah, to make it feel more full. But at the same time, it made it feel very empty.
Yeah. So a good reference of like how big this project was, like in terms of like literal size, is if you take the area of all banks in old school RuneScape, you'll find the largest on the mainland was the Varrock West Bank. This isn't including the Grand Exchange, but yeah, the West Bank in Varrock, and it has an area of about 165 squares, while the biggest bank on Zia is Arceus, and it's 324.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to say this again. I'll probably say it another time too, but the big problem was it was just empty. You'd go into this bank, there's like no one else there. No players, no NPCs, which are just like, does it need to be this big?
It really doesn't, especially if you want to feel busy, because they give a really good examples. If you look at Sears Bank, it's probably one of the smallest, but it always seems active, even though people are just fletching there. Or like bank, it was like 3 people in that bank will make it seem like it's a hustle and bustling, it's a lively area in the game, but it's just the scale of everything. Like Sears, you ever run through like Sears Village and be like, man, this is a dead area. Because really there's not much to do there. There's like one quest.
Yeah.
And there's like, but like it has like the way that area is designed, it's designed in a way that like there's a bunch of people cutting trees, and doing rooftops, but like it's I don't know, it's a good size for how many people are doing stuff and where they're doing it, where it kind of feels good, where you could probably fit everyone on like 1,000 people in one world in Zia.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, this is pretty cool, but you'd still find dead areas all the time. Like, that's just how big, like how many people would you need to fill up like the Arceus for it to feel, you need like 50 people to have that feel like a good active area, the bank in Arceus, and the bank alone. If it's like you double the size of the Varrock West Bank, you know what I mean? Like you need a lot of people there to make it feel active.
I might be getting these numbers wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Zaya is is as big as half of RuneScape or Gielinor.
Yeah, okay.
And that's a huge chunk of land as it is, right? So 50%, that's pretty big. You need a lot to fill it up.
Yeah. It's like 50,000 people live here. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they still live here. Just too big. The houses feel really big. Well, they are really big due to just like building size. Like everything in Zia is just too big. So they're trying to fix it all. And yeah, they've kind of condensed everything. There's going to be a lot of more open spaces, all that good stuff. They are wanting to still add the Ruined Temple dungeon. We talked about that before, but the Hosidus dungeon that we talked about it, and it was kind of, it felt like something that would be really interesting if you're a new player and you stumbled upon it and did it once.
Right. It looked like, we had speculated that someone just made a D&D map and then ported it over.
Like Jagex on their tap time played a D&D. Like, this map is cool. Want to put it in RuneScape? Yeah.
Yeah. With no real reason, it looked like. There was a spider boss, right?
Yep.
But what's it going to drop? Who knows?
Yeah, they'll be adding like a Forthos ruined Saltpetra area, like another one. Yeah, they're just going to be like kind of shuffling everything around. They're going to be fixing up Kingstown with this new available space. They'll be making it bigger. My worry is that they've added just like 4 cooking and water areas to like the actual kingdom, the castle, sorry. And they've added like a bigger wall.
I would love for them to just, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to have random NPCs doing all these random tasks throughout it. Where even if you're just walking a path, you'll have some guy with like wheelbarrow just pushing it somewhere. What's kind of cool about Blast Furnace is you'll have these random dwarves walking up to another dwarf and be like, here's 21 mithril ore. And then he'll be like, thank you. And they do like a little trade and they'll say it or whatever. And it's just like, I look at it, I'm like, okay, that's neat, but does nothing for me or the game. But I feel like you really do notice it when these things aren't in the game.
Well, that's only on the Blast Furnace worlds. Because if you remember when they first came out with Blast Furnace, everyone had to cooperate and do all the tasks, like shoveling the coal, doing the pumps, on the cycle.
Yep.
Like, there was the whole point of Blast Furnace was that like you and a group of people would sit down and take like turns doing all these little tasks. But then it kind of just turned into like a clan would do it for money for you.
Yeah.
Or like a guy had like 4 bots that would just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know what? We'll just have money sink. You just pay these dwarves and they'll kind of do it for you. You can go run Blast Furnace.
Which was a good move.
Yep. So, yeah, I do think like they might just like need to straight up reduce the land size, but you can tell they have really big plans still. Where like if you look at the southwest part of the map on the Great Karen, you see a bridge going into the Black Abyss, which means they have another area planned to be unlocked.
Yeah, that's the Savita's Fort Illa Fortes or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like the Kingdom of Varlamore, which is supposed to be this rival kingdom where I believe they have like a ceasefire in the lore where they're not really at war anymore, but the Kren versus Varlamore were like opposing factions that were constantly at battle at some point.
Yeah. So yeah, they do have some big changes, which leads us into the actual poll blog. And the first poll question is, should we do this Hosidus update? It's going to be they're not going to be polling 50 things like, should we move teeth farming? Because if one passes, like if they want to move, like if they want to make a change in Hosidus, they kind of have to change all of it at once because then it's going to be jank.
Yeah, you'll have it you have some buildings looking out of place.
Yeah. And yeah, so I guess from that, hopefully it goes through. It's well needed, but then we have the quality of life. So, poll question 2. Should the Salve Amulet EI's appearance be adjusted to make it easier to tell apart from the Salve E?
Sure.
I guess. I only see it being useful for like Theater of Blood. Not many people, like you're only going to have both if you're collecting items or you're doing Theater of Blood.
Yep.
Because you bring a Salve E into Theater of Blood for the second boss, because the EI only gives you range and magic bonus. Like it only helps for that. And you don't use that for the second boss, and then you drop your Salve E.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a stack of like 200 in the bank, and then your EI, and then you're me, and you're actually bringing your E to Vorkath. And someone's on, why am I doing less DPS? This is weird. And then yeah, you find out that's the reason. Poll question 3. Should the heraldic helmets and shields with the god crest that can be painted in your POH require 70 prayer and count as god items when worn? Or sorry, they require 70 prayer. Should they count as god items when worn?
I don't know. It seems harmless to me.
Well, look up like what they actually do. Like, are there bonuses to the heraldic helmets that you paint?
Pretty sure it's just cosmetic. Like that came out with I want to say it came out with the player-owned house update.
So is there
construction update? I should say.
Is there an unlimited supply of them?
I think you just need to buy a rune helmet and then get it recolored
every time, or is it just once?
Well, you do it for the one helmet. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you need to do it every time.
So the only issue I could see with this, if that's the case, because I don't mess with POHs. If you ever seen my POH, it's very much like it's just all usability. You know what I mean? Like I have a menagerie for an elite diary. I have like just stuff I use for PVM, and then like comment. I don't even have the new teleport, the main point thing, because I don't really need it. But with the heraldic helms, like what stats do they give? Can you if you can infinitely generate them, then that's going to be a huge no for me. But if you need to like sacrifice a piece of rune every time, I could see it being okay if it counts as a god item.
Wow, I have not visited these items in a while. This is interesting. So you'll need to get either a steel, addy, or rune full helmet, and then you can paint them on a plumbing stand, shield, easel, or banner easel in a player-owned house. It takes level 38 crafting, and you need to have a crest assigned by Serenity. Fuck. Nice. Bastards.
Yeah, Serenity now.
Yeah. So the first time so it says a player's first crest assignment is free, and it'll cost 5k to change their crest to another one.
Yeah.
So I think all you need to do is sacrifice that type of helmet.
Yeah. And
then you would get the recolors. But it's actually kind of cool. So I'm looking at all of them here. They have the 3 gods. So Saradomin, Zamorak, and Guthix. If you recolor a rune helmet to Zamorak, it looks like a black helmet with a red plum. And then Saradomin, it's like a dark blue with a white. plum or plume.
Mm-hmm.
Gothic's is green with a teal looking plume. But there's other ones too. You have one that's white with a dark blue. You need to complete Shield of Arav. There's one for Dragon Slayer and Lost City. There's the skull helmet, so you need to be skulled when doing this. It's a white helmet with a gray plume. And there's the money one, which is basically looks like a bronze helmet with a gold plume. That costs you 500k.
So it's pretty much clue scroll items.
Yeah, just cosmetic. Go off. Looking at it now, some of them look awesome. I kind of forgot about these.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So
Would work great for Fashionscape.
So it's only Zamrock, Sarah, and Guthix?
That would act as God Wars.
Those are the only gods that you can do?
Yeah. There's some that require quests done. And then the two that I mentioned, which were the money one and then one being skulled.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of is if you're an Iron Meme, if you're an Iron Man and you're struggling to get a god item, now you can just sack 5k in a steel helmet, now you can go to God Wars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Which really it isn't that big of a deal.
You could buy a miter, which is like pretty cheap. There's other
as an Iron Man?
Oh, Iron Man.
That's what I'm saying. It skips the necessity of doing clue scrolls to do God Wars, which is kind of air quotes iconic, but not really, because you can bring in like Zamorak, or Unholy Symbol, holy symbols, monk robes, and stuff like that. But this would probably be like an alternative. You know, it's probably okay. The more I think about it, it's like there's easier ways to get in there for God items.
Yeah.
I guess it's fine.
There's workarounds.
Yeah, it's not going to break any metas. I don't think. I guess I'd be okay then. And I guess it would make sense. Poll question 4. Should spots that birdhouses can be built have a left-click build option when empty? This would build the highest tier birdhouse you have the hunter and the parts in your inventory for.
Seems fair to me.
Yep, they've been working on new crafting interface to kind of be in line with the make all, which that was last year.
This one went unnoticed.
Yeah. So do they want a new make all interface for crafting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. The gold crafting, sorry, I should specify, when you're making jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should the Drummond staff have its autocast option removed? Following the recent autocast change, equipping it for a fairy ring disrupts the autocast settings on staffs player use for combat.
Sure. Minor quality of life, I suppose. It's minor quality of life for something that just came into the game, right?
Yeah.
It's quality of life on top of a quality of life.
Like, I could see it being problematic, and it's quality of life for people who are PVMing and they're using that staff a lot.
Yeah.
And they're teleporting around. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
that's how I feel. It's
if
whatever.
anyone's autocasting with the Drummond staff for magic experience, use a goblin staff instead, because you're probably just splashing.
Yeah.
Same concept. Go to Diango's toy store and buy the goblin staff. So yeah, whatever. In the recent Song of the Elves poll, crystal tools passed with flying colors, and these are a tier above the dragon pickaxe, axe, and harpoon, and will be obtained from Sulcan. Okay, nice.
Yeah, these
will be
gained
obtained.
Obtained.
I guess they're like just outsourcing these poll blogs to Venezuelans because after the whole power outage,
yeah, maybe
market crash. Ever. So the new scaling boss that will be found in Prifdinez, because they'll also require base dragon tools to be made. Players will have to choose between their infernal tools and these new crystal ones. With this in mind, we'd like to offer a change below so that some players may wish to make the switch. Should there be a right-click option to remove smoldering stones from their axes, this would destroy the stone, but return your dragon tools.
Maybe it's for Iron Man, right?
No, just for people like once I get 99 fire making, I'll never need the smoldering stone. You know what I mean?
The only thing I could see about someone still using the smoldering stone after 99 fire making or whatever is if they want a woodcut still and have it more AFK, because it has a chance of burning that log, so you can get a technically you can get a bigger inventory.
Yeah, at Redwoods, I guess. You wouldn't, like, would you really want to burn your magic logs?
No, it's good for redwoods.
Yeah,
Or
pet
willows.
hunters maybe.
Yeah, exactly. If you're hunting pets maybe, but you want to do it in an AFK manner.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, I'll probably keep both of them. And clue scrolls too. You need the infernal axes for a clue scroll. So I probably have both. And I like collecting stuff.
Poll question 8. Should a right-click option be added to Moselry? Or Rye? There's a pun there that I'm missing. I've never heard them say the name, so I'm like, is it Moselry? Moselray? Moselray?
I don't know.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, there's a pun there, and I'm missing it. But whatever. It's just like the guy that transports you to Shiloh Village.
Oh, in the cart.
Yeah. Right click option.
Yeah. Okay. Do it. Because the worst is there's a left click, and then there's like travel, and then travel on cart. There's 2 travels. One of them you click, and it brings you through dialogue, while the other one's an instant travel. So it's stupid. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not a huge deal, but there's a few times I'm like,
yeah.
Why is it like this?
But if we go back and talk about the Hosidus stuff now, because that's it for the polls, my main concern is they need to rework Shazian.
Doing it the same way, you think?
Yeah, and how long is that going to take? Because Shazian is like more problematic. Where
You think
like,
so? I think it's less.
have you entered some of these tents?
Yeah.
You enter like the main tent with like the guy, like the Shazian Lord, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not even in render distance.
Yeah, that's fair.
The table, I believe the table at that same place is like the length of the Sears Village Bank, and it's a table. I think it's the size of the bank and where the tellers hang out. It's like an 8x4 or an 8x3. I think maybe it's an 8x4.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is huge. Like,
I mean, there are more people, like NPC wise, at the Shazian, a lot of like soldiers training and stuff. So you can make the argument like, oh, they're going to use these eventually when they're done training.
but like, I get it's a war table, but like, it is so, and it's a tent. Like, they have tents that have like stone pillars holding it up. Like, just give them a house. Why are they all in tents?
Well, it could be for like temporary setup, right?
But I mean, like, if it's a temporary setup and it's this big, like, it's just like, does the king need this big of a strategic, like, you think like Game of Thrones when you're like strategizing, right?
Yeah.
Awful show, but
Oh my
like
God.
the tents aren't that big. They're supposed to be big enough so that you can crowd in, and like all the people that need to know will crowd. Like, there's no way there's that many people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so
it could be a
big.
thing that's like some general who wants to feel more superior. So he's like, bigger is better, right? Like, I know like the Romans, when they would go out to like war with some other faction or tribe or whatever, like they've constructed some pretty crazy forts.
Yeah, but that's when they're sieging. Like,
Yeah, but
think of it like this.
They would go
Shazian-
above and beyond sometimes just to like, this is what Romans deserve.
So, like, who are the Shazians fighting right now?
Lizardmen.
Okay,
Those are
lizardmen
pretty-
that are in a cave underground
Oh, well, there's some that mulch
in
now.
a swamp.
They're big problems with their training. And then you also got to think like that Varlamore kingdom. Maybe they got to be like prepared. Because Shazian's kind of right where.
Yeah, they're in between.
Yeah, they're like the first.
They're fighting
barrier.
a war on two fronts. We know how that happened. You know, we know what happened last time,
Yeah.
World War II. But it's really big. There's a lot of tents that are in boring pattern. Like, I would have like. I feel like teeth farming, or not teeth farming, sorry. The Hosidus was really big and it was really ugly because it's just like just a big farming area, and like, but it made sense because, you know, you need that to like feed everyone. But then when it comes to Shazian, it's like just massive tents everywhere with like a lot of open space, and it's like if they're like they could be making it way more interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like
I don't think they should remove the massiveness of it, mainly because similar to the Hosidus House, like Shazian does make sense to me. Like, you have your soldiers out there, and you also like for moral support, you want them to have
like these huge tents. You'd feel good.
A tent so big that you like can't see the end of it when you climb up the stairs. Like what? A table so big that you run out of run energy just like going around it.
Yeah, but then the general's like, I had to get a table this big so all my men could eat together. You'd be like,
but it's for war.
What a good general.
But it's not like a dining table. There's like a map on it. It's like a 1-to-1 scale of the Great Karen. That's how big the table is. Like it's like there's a Great Karen on a table, and that's how big the table. You know what I mean? Like it's so big. But like even like not even lore wise, like player.
I mean, player wise, it makes no sense. It's a pain in the ass to navigate.
Like if you're a new player and you're running around, like even in Graceful, like you run out of run energy just traversing that area, which is like it is super annoying. If you're doing Client of Karen and you don't have any teleports unlocked, like
oh yeah, have fun.
The area is so big that you have the Caradas memoirs and you have a book that teleports you to like every house, but then you also have a necklace that teleports you to every house, and then you have a bunch of fairy rings. That's how big. Like there's 2 unique items that teleport you in one area, and there's like 2 special teleports per area, and it still feels like there's too much running around.
Yeah, it is a pain.
There's going to be even more open space now because Hosidus was like touching Shazian. And so they've kind of filled it out with like the temple and the ruins and stuff. They're going to be like putting in stuff there to kind of fill it out. They have to like, they kind of like need to start fixing it up. Like Arceus probably should be next. Shazian. Piscurlius, oddly enough, it's big, but like it's not super bad. It's annoying, especially when you go in the underbelly of it for the quest. But like, it's kind of a pain in the ass. It makes sense, like, when you have to go to Winterton, it's kind of a pain, but it's supposed to be like this northern area with this, like, I get the run to that, but everything just feels so big that like if this update goes through, like they better be working on the next houses like ASAP.
Yeah,
because you don't want like one to be like super nice and clean, like Hosidus will be, and then everything else to be like super big, like. I feel like they should just quickly, like, by the end of the year, have these areas, at least new like, ideas being pulled.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's a lot of work for them to take on. You want to make it all fit, right? So having to rework the whole thing, it's going to take some planning. You could never do that to Gielinor. How hard it would be to rework the cities, right? They're perfectly well done.
Yeah,
right?
The cities are well done and they're thought out and they're sizable. Like, so imagine if the slums of Xeric, which lore-wise would probably be bigger than like most of the city. If you think about like if you want to take the lore approach, like the slums of Xeric, where you do like Shield of Rav and all that stuff, would probably be way bigger than one street with like a house on each side.
Yeah,
but for like player usage, they condensed it to the point where like it's fitting. We're like, I'm in the slums right now. I still remember being a noob and some guy asking if I want to buy drugs. Me saying yeah, and he trades me pot and weeds, and then
shit,
give him like 30 GP, and he just like walked away, totally gypped me, ripped me off. I don't know how much a dime bag is, but they need to take that approach where like I feel like, and even maybe with Hosidus, it still might feel too big, but we're kind of like accepting. I don't know. We'll have to just see when it comes in.
That's the thing. We can see the map now, but it's going to be a lot different when you're actually traversing through it.
Yeah, like they need to spend more time looking at giving the player the feel of where they are in the town by not making it. That's the only thing you see in that render distance.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where you're like, I'm in the slums because all I see are stray dogs and muggers. It's like, yeah, whatever. But that's kind of my thoughts. I don't know if you feel the same or if you think they should kind of keep it like big and just put it. I know you want more NPCs and whatnot.
I think I prefer the more NPCs, but like I said, we'll have to see when Hosidus comes out because maybe it'll make the whole thing feel better. And you're like, you know what? I want this treatment done to every house. Mm-hmm. It does feel a lot more alive.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll move on to the next series of updates that came out. Thank you to Gentle Tractor, actually, by the way, for the preliminary designs that he contributed to. And there's now a new updated quest side panel, and it's more they have a more intuitive tab system.
Yeah.
It's way more clean. I'm no longer like click, 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 and I'm out mini games finally because they all kind of like shift positions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more clean. It looks way better, and they have an idea if they need to expand on the tabs because right now there's only 4 and it fits super well. But if they ever need to add more, they already have an idea of how to do it. And they've received suggestions such as player summaries and stuff like that might add tabs to, which I don't really feel is necessary. Quality of life changes. So, Old DAC accepts no to glass. Wait, did we already go over this?
It's probably just being pulled before.
Yeah, okay. So, quality of life changes that have been included from the final week. The miscellaneous ones. So Oldak accepts no to glass. He is a Dorgushan Khan guy, so he's underground. And you can give him no to glass to create you Dorgushan Khan spheres, which teleport you to Dorgushan Khan.
Yeah.
So easier stuff. The Brimstone chest counter has now been implemented.
Cool.
Yeah. So Konar's keys will now be tracked. Mystic robe sets are now a thing. You get all 4 versions of it, the white and yellow, the white and blue, black and red, and the teal and black.
Nice.
They automated the Varrock Museum cleaning process. So you can now hold as many unclean finds as you want. Picking up finds has been automated. It's faster to click to pick them up. The click area of the rocks have been improved. The piles of rocks on the left can now be clicked to get unclean finds.
The whole thing's just been streamlined, basically, right?
Yeah. Cleaning finds has been sped up, but you can also do it the old way and have it be automated. Taking tools off will be given all of them that you don't have, or normally you'd have to have nothing to get them all, like all this stuff. You're no longer questioned by the guards if you want to try and enter the cleaning area. Yeah.
It's just content that if you haven't done it, congrats, it's easier. If you have done it, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, if you're trying to get experience lamps there, it's now easier, so...
But don't. Unless you're a Varrock restricted Ultimate Iron Man.
Yeah. It's I think the rates were like 160 experience an hour or something, but now it's going to be greatly improved because it's going to be automated and faster.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, right-click travel to Vios and Megoro are now possible. So Vios and Captain Megoro have a right-click option from Port Sarim, Piscarius, and Land's End.
Yep, that's the southern dock at Zaya.
Yep.
People tend to forget about.
So sandstone to sand, that grinder has been added to the west of the granite quarry. And yeah, you give them up to 25k noted buckets, and you can unnote sandstone. You bring unnoted sandstone to the grinder, and you can get charges. You can use each size of brick. They give you different amounts of charges. So like 10 would be 8. All that's 8 charges. 1 would be 1. Blah, 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 blah. We went over that before. You can claim noted buckets of sand from Drew at the cost of 1 GP, 1 charge, and 1 stored bucket. So pretty much Iron Man and EHP skillers, those 200 mil miners, are now at war with each other.
Oh boy.
Going to be 3 ticking, a quarry, and an Iron Man's going to show up.
Have fun.
I guess fight fire with fire, fight toxicity with toxicity. It's going to be a lot of shit talking there. Be pretty fun to see. For the Song of the Elves rewards and extras, you can still submit your ideas and all that, your suggestions to oldschoolcommunity@jagex.com. Song of the Elves, new elf quest that passed. Good stuff. The Twitch Prime benefits expire on March 19th, so it's going to be over by the time you hear this. And yeah, hopefully you got those free 14 days of membership. In other news, the enchant spells are no longer offered in the Chambers of Xeric. And I'm pissed.
Actually?
Yeah, because we talked about it before, and I thought it was really neat that you could overload so what you would do, and what like my one buddy did on his Iron Man, which gave me this idea for if I ever want to do like the only Ultimate Iron Man meme type thing, was to kill like muted isles or Tekton or something that drops an overload plus, boost up to the magic level to enchant Onyx if you don't have it by then, which saves a lot of time. They've now disabled all enchant spells in the Chambers of Xeric.
Okay.
Which is weird because I don't know if I agree with it. Because, well, like it's like a change that only affects Iron Man and stuff like that. The average player, like it only affects them. But it was a really neat way to kind of like game the system in terms of like, I guess game the system, but like it was a neat workaround. Like, can you just use enchants now at NMZ?
Probably not.
Is that the next step? You just overload and then enchant?
Well, what they say here, the reason is the stat boosts are unusually large, and they were never intended for getting oneself permanent access to items unrelated to the actual raid.
But like, there's a lot of things that you do. I mean, I guess like obviously maybe I'm biased because I was kind of like thinking like it'd be really cool to actually do it on an Iron Man myself. I picture myself doing it. I'm like, kind of feel like you're cheating the system a bit.
It's cool when you like discover it, but I feel like when it becomes like meta, then you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah, the main thing though with Iron Man is that typically you're going to be getting a lot of magic experience anyways via alching.
Yeah.
I don't think magic is ever a huge gate behind content. It's if you were to make an account or like do something with that in mind, if you were to like play an Iron Man and do that and have that like idea in mind, then you would kind of play your account differently, which would make series a bit like someone's like I don't know, it just kind of adds cool variety, but like I do understand why they do it. I don't think they're wrong for changing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of like, man, I really liked that idea of like seeing like a level 60 Iron Man or something with a Fury.
Yeah.
Like that would be like I just think that as an idea would be really cool. But I guess they just don't want that to be a thing, and you have to get a little bit more creative.
Find the next exploit,
which I'm assuming would be NMZ.
Well, I'm sure that they fix it here. Like if they haven't already done it to NMZ, they're probably going to. Like that probably would have been the first one I would have thought of.
Yeah, I don't know. Some cooking ranges on Lunar Isle were not working as ranges and have been fixed. Fun fact, I wonder how that was discovered, because cooking ranges have a higher percentage of cooking your food, like a lower percentage of burning as opposed to like fires, like log fires. So I wonder if someone cooked a bunch and just like did the math and was like, or maybe they just like were cooking there and they burnt one. Like I'm not like, I looked at the burn tables. I'm not supposed to be able to burn here. Jagex, what's going on? Tweet at Mod Ash. And they go, oh.
That, or maybe a JMod was going through the code and realized like, hey, this thing's been coded the same way as.
But for so long.
Yeah.
A rogue smoke cloud has been removed at Tsar Bank. When getting a hard or medium contract from Jane, the dialogue now allows you to ask for an easier one without you having to end and restart the dialogue. Worms accidentally would drop regular bones sometimes, so they fixed that.
Nice.
They finally made the Guthix dragon hide body armor, now called D-hide. Finally, it's consistent with all the other ones.
Fun stuff as always. So for community chatter, not a whole lot was really going on this week. You had shown me about a group that had run Chambers of Xeric and got a new world best.
Yeah. It's like 10 minutes and like 16 seconds.
Yeah, so full completion in 10 minutes.
I think it was an 8 or a 9-man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Really interesting. It's really interesting to watch him do it, because beforehand, I don't know what the guy's name was, but the guy who previously held the record, his name was Lucid Dream, or is. We talked about it. He was like, or he is technically rank 1 raids completion, which is a lot of raids. And like the strats they use, they would like ice barrage the mage and rangers at like tightrope.
Okay.
And then they go safe spot them, and like some dude should go take the tightrope and grab it. Like they do like all the rooms in like a little bit of a janky way. But this group had it where they just had the right amount of people where everyone bring out their sanguinesti staffs, and they just poke them all once, and they run back. Do like a lot of really cool things, and it was really interesting to watch. I don't know, pretty cool to talk about. So I guess congrats to them.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff. And this is why I wish they would tweak the way the scoreboard is for doing like the ranked speed runs. Nobody cares. Nobody does it because it's world specific. So
it's weird. Like if there's like a Chambers of Xeric speedrunning community, I guess like you have to get the right scout, and then you have to find the most optimal amount of people. Like it's like it's not like a 2-man can ever beat that time.
No,
it's impossible for a group of 2 to do that. You need like so. That's why, they should really focus and fix the freaking scoreboards for Chambers of Xeric's challenge mode to like actually like
make it global, not world specific. Make it so that no matter what world you're in, you're going on the same scoreboard and
make them permanent.
Make it permanent. Stop wiping them then, because like nobody's racing anymore because every week it's gone. They're just doing it for fun. And if they're like, I want to be number 1, I'm going to find a world that nobody's done it in.
Yeah, I've been number 1.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how no one did it in a 3-man on that world.
Yeah,
done. Easy rank 1 right here. Rank 1 trio challenge modes at Xeric's. Check me out, guys. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess that's about it for community chatter, isn't it? Now it's time to teleport back in time. We are going to March 17th, 2001. This is the segment where we like to go back and revisit updates that have happened in the past week by week. So we just had the one this week and seemed like there've been some issues going on at Jagex HQ. So he says here, I've just uploaded this week's update. I was really hoping to get a lot of interesting new features added this week. Due to a worrying amount of attempted cheating and password stealing, I've had to spend most of my time programming the system to detect and stop that instead. Players who continually try to break the rules are merely depriving themselves and everyone else of a more interesting improvements. This week's updates are added a button to email forgotten/stolen passwords back to their owner. Changing your password was made easier. They added a timeout to conversations to prevent people blocking shops. So I guess only one person could talk at a time, right?
Yeah.
People would just open up a dialogue and just AFK it so no one else could use that person. And added code to detect which players are attempting to break the rules. Luckily, while I was busy doing this, Paul had time to add a cooking guild, which you can only enter if your cooking skill is 32 or better. Nice.
Damn.
Cooking has also been improved with a wider choice of things to make. You can now make a variation of pies. Funny that they add a cooking guild and they think 32, that's a high level to get into this area. Whereas now it's 32. You're like, I get that in a day. Easily. So some cool stuff. I guess a little bit of a lighter week for them back then. Mm-hmm. Similar to this week too. But yeah, let's hopefully move on to lore. So you'll hear a sound effect right here if it actually works this week. I got to figure out what's going on with this new software that I'm using. It keeps crashing when I tried to add that extra vocal track. I don't know. I'm doing something wrong, but we'll figure it out. The Great Kurend suffered many different kings, with the power eventually falling on the tyrannical king Xeric, who ruled with an iron fist, which led to the people of Kurend revolting against the king. Xeric had to flee the city. Himself and a council of his elite men were exiled to Mount Quidamortum. One of the men that came with Xeric was his master craftsman. The craftsman had built up much of his kingdom during Xeric's ruling. Now at Quidamortum, he ordered this craftsman to build an underground complex. This cave held special crystals. These crystals, which boasted a certain type of magic. Xeric and his men learned that you could manipulate this magic. When the power of these crystals were found, all of his men began experimenting and practicing with the magics available to them, which is not something Xeric wanted. He did not want his men becoming stronger than him and overthrowing Xeric himself, so he ordered the craftsmen to destroy this temple.
The craftsman knew that this temple was special, so he did not fully destroy it. He left it intact so as they could return one day if needed to. Xeric then began trying to learn to use this magic outside of the temple and cave, but he was never able to. Xeric offered the craftsman a reward for his service. He brought him into a room within the cave and used the resources inside to create a new body for the craftsman to live inside. Using the magic, the soul of this craftsman was inserted into the vessel he had created. This new body for the craftsman was much stronger, but it came at a price. His mind suffered, which caused him to lose his memories, intelligence, and wisdom. The craftsman ignored this new problem he had, as he believed Xeric gave him this body for the strength it gave. Within the cave and temple, Xeric created a massive anvil and told the craftsman to remain here and work on the strength that this body provided. The craftsman fashioned a sword and hammer, which he used to replace the hands on the body. Xeric did not remain within the temple. He left, but this craftsman remained, protecting this temple, hoping Xeric would return. So here, the craftsman sits, hammering on the anvil, improving his new body. The feelings of family and friends, a wife and children pop into his brain from time to time, though he does not know who these people are, where they are, or whether or not they are alive. Xeric turned this man into a creature that could be used as a weapon, and this creature now goes by the name of Tekton within the Chambers of Xeric, where he sits and waits for his master to return. And now that we are back, though, we will start talking about, well, we'll take a trip to the Grand Exchange and talk about some of the things we got going on. So the first things first, as always, if you like audiobooks, you can go to audibletrial.com/wild to see if the audiobook that you might be interested in is out there. They have a huge selection, so if there's something you're interested in, good chance it's there. That's audibletrial.com/wild for a free month and a free audiobook. And you can also support the show directly by going to patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Supporter of the week is Chick. So thank you very much for supporting the show. We had done the trivia night together, actually.
Yeah.
He had helped with that one, so that was a lot of fun. So thank you very much for all your support and help doing these that fun event and whatnot. So now we can segue to what we got going on with the show itself. We have an event in the near future, not sure how near, but sooner than later, and we're going to be doing a old school RuneScape Jeopardy game. So we're going to have contestants between 3 to 5 people and play out just like a Jeopardy game or Jeopardy normally does, but it's going to be old school RuneScape related questions or answers, since that's how that game show works. There's no signups right now, but there will be a sign up board where you can put your username if you can make it, and you'll be put into the round. If enough people want to do it, then we'll have multiple rounds. If too many people want to do it, then we'll have to have a couple of them going on throughout, maybe over the course of a whole month, right? A couple matches a week or something. But it's something that I plan on streaming. That might be the easiest way to actually do it. This way, there's a website that I can build this Jeopardy template from. And instead of me just reading it off, you could maybe watch the stream and see it as I pull it up. I know there's a bit of a delay, but I'm thinking we should be able to make it work. And there's going to be some cash prizes to be won. But yeah, keep your eyes and ears out on Twitter and Discord and all that fun stuff if you're interested. But what we do got going on right now is we're doing a little bit of a book club for the RuneScape novels written by T.S. Church. We're still on novel 1. So if you're not yet have your book or something you do want to do, you can easily catch up. The chapters are easy reads, and we're only putting a few aside each week just because the people who are partaking in it, we've been a little busy with work and stuff, so we don't want to overload it. So it's just a few chapters, and then we like to talk about some of the cool stuff that's going on. And yeah, they're pretty good books, and it's cool to see like the RuneScape references, but it doesn't break the actual book itself. You don't see a RuneScape reference, at least yet, but you don't see one and you don't go like, it's kind of lame. Yeah. So it's pretty good. So definitely get in there in our Discord if you want to check that out. Yeah. So if you do want to hang out with us in game, you can go to Wild CC, the clan chat, and hang out with us and all the lovely people there. Our Facebook is facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our Twitter is @thewildernessrs, and our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. Our Discord link is posted on both Facebook and Twitter, but you can bug one of us if you can't find it, and we will get you a link as well. Deagin's got some stuff as well.
Twitch, Twitter, Deagin.
Yeah. Our song of the week looks like it's going to be Aztec. It's the music track that is unlocked in the Brimhaven Agility Arena. There's some trivia here, believe it or not, but the track is named after the Aztec people. a real-world ethnic group of central Mexico during the 14th to 16th century. Lots of sacrifices went on over there. Oh no, am I thinking the Mayans? I think I'm thinking the Mayans.
Yeah, maybe.
I gotta brush up on my history. And it was composed by Ian Taylor. I think that about does it for us here.
Yeah. Was this a short episode?
It was a bit shorter compared to the last couple. But I guess it'll tend to happen, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, we hit max combat.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Cool stuff.
Yeah. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, everybody.